everyone. Very good afternoon. It's a beautiful day out here. And we have something very exciting to look forward to for 2025, which is why we are here. We are going to start the year with Hyderabad Literary Festival 2025 15th edition. And we have with us the festival directors and the founding member of the Hyderabad Literary Festival. I will quickly start with the introductions. Kinnera Murthy, Sir Vijay Kumar, and Ma'am Amita Desai. So we are so happy to be here, and we would like to express our gratitude for your efforts towards the literary festival. Please tell us how the journey has been, and you guys are in the 15th edition. Do tell us everything that you can about the festival.
I thought founding member?
Yes.
Okay. It all started way back in 2010, and we have been moving our venue. We have had 1 year at the Taramati Baradari. We had 1 year in the Maulana Azad Urdu National Urdu University. We had 4 or 5 times in the Hyderabad Public School. Then we had 1 edition on street number 7 and 8 in Banjara Hills. That entire street was renamed as Lit Street. And then we moved to Vidyaranya School. We had it there for 2 years. And for 2 years, it was completely a digital festival. And since 2000, this edition, that is the 14th edition in 2024, was at the Sattva Knowledge City. And 2025 will also be there. Well, the festival has grown both in terms of its scope as well as in terms of the audience responses. Just to give you a rough picture, this year, 2024th edition, the 14th edition, we had over 75,000 audience attending the festival across 3 days. And Sattva Knowledge City also provided that opportunity to host such a large audience. And so I think the festival, the audience, and the venue complemented each other beautifully in 2024. And we look forward to that greater impact in 2025.
Amazing, amazing. Amita ma'am, would you like to tell us about the highlights of the festival this year?
Before I come to the highlights this year, what I'd like to add to what Vijay has said is that when he said increase the scope of the festival, so from literature, we were able to take it to cover a large cross-section of people. So we even have something called Nandha Nukkad. So young ones come. We would like them to start early to familiarize themselves to art and culture and books and play around with that, storytelling. So we have been able to have for Youngistan Nukkad, culture also is such a large part wherein we introduce something called stage talk because it is, we can't produce so many pieces of cultural activities because it is a logistic challenge always. But you can bring them in to talk about their own art forms. Right. So this is what we have done, and as a result, the 15th year will continue to have 15 streams of creativity. That's what we are presenting. Highlights are going to be, well, it's the 15th edition. We have a website where more and more exciting names are being uploaded. More and more exciting people who are going to be part of it. I don't want to list one or the other out because all of the 200 people who will be present are very highly committed, creative individuals. Right. So I would say City of Hyderabad and beyond, come and check it out.
Amazing. So, Kinnera ma'am, tell us what goes on behind the scenes and how soon does your prep start and what kind of inquiries roll in, what kind of response starts coming in as you are all putting the festival together?
Adding to what my colleague said, we are very, very excited because the average age of HLF has been coming down every year. And that, I think, is a great hope for this country. In a country where there are so many lit fests happening, year after year, the number of lit fests is going up. And the place that HLF has in this is quite high. In fact, HLF has been the forerunner of quite a few new streams. We were the first, I think, to start exhibitions and the first to start a small children's festival, etc. So we have a whole lot of things happening. Like Amita said, 15 streams happening. And all this happens somehow. I say somehow because HLF is a completely voluntary festival. All of us do different things in our real lives, and we somehow come together. We have a passionate team, apart from three of us, we have roped in a few, as what we call as a core team from different aspects of the festival, different streams of the festival, and they have been helping us for the past few years. Earlier, everything used to be done by us. We somehow do it. And we all are voluntary, and I think this is one festival that somehow miraculously produces something which is so multidisciplinary, spanning multicultural and so many things. So I love this festival primarily because it happens with the passion and the dedication of people who are coming together to float it every year. And I may add that this year we have been successful in getting Lithuania as our guest nation, and we are excited that the ambassador herself is coming to grace the occasion. I think that's a great thing. Every year we also have a Sindhi, a language, regional language in focus. This year we have Sindhi, and so we are bringing together a whole assortment of literature, culture, heritage, arts for you.
So just to ask you a follow-up question on that, which are the other languages and countries that have been in focus? If we have to give a quick recap to people who are just now tuning in.
Yeah, we started this new feature called Indian Language in Focus in 2013. 2012, we added a stream called Guest Nation. So Guest Nation basically is that every year we invite a foreign country to showcase their art, literature, and culture. And while on the one hand we are looking outward to other nations, we are also looking inward into our own diversity of languages, cultures, etc. So in 2013, we started this stream called Indian Language in Focus. Let me add that it does not mean that the entire festival will be about only that language. It's a language that we give special focus to. And therefore, we started with Telugu. We then went on to Hindi. We celebrated Urdu and Marathi. We had Tamil. We had Kannada. We had Gujarati. So like that, we had Konkani. And so every year, we focus on one of the 22 scheduled languages in the festival. And in addition to the scheduled languages, we have also started a stream in 2024, which is languages which are not part of the 8th schedule. 22 are the official languages of India, but India has about 800 languages which are recognized. Right. So to recognize that diversity, we have started a new stream in 2024 called Indigenous and Endangered Languages. So where languages which are not part of the scheduled languages list, we also bring writers, artists from those languages and present them.
I think that's a beautiful initiative, and it's so important because same as how certain languages are not as widely spoken, there are some art forms also which are dying in the country. So, and a festival becomes a place where an artist can come and exhibit their, skill and their art form. So.
In fact, Sakshi, we do that as well. So over the years, we have been bringing, particularly from our own region here, tribal arts and tribal dancers, tribal musicians. One year, I recall, we in fact put out exhibition of musical instruments of the state of Telangana, and people did not know. We did not know all of these instruments, and we could showcase them under. The Gond art was there, and so we have been doing that quite consciously to bring this up. A few other things that have been quite there throughout and growing is the awareness to have an environmentally aware festival. Of course, it's very difficult to do 100%, but it is definitely a challenge that we have taken on to do more and more of it. So we have reduced printed matter. QR code is there, and we have really printed far less so that there's no question of giving that out. We're very cautious about signages. So we have had, plywood, which are painted in a particular color with our logo, and then we write with chalk different venues. So these kind of things happen. We don't sell plastic bottle easily. We ask people to bring their own bottles. Glass is used more. So there is environmental issue that we have been working on more and more aware of. The second thing is the inclusivity. So when I mentioned earlier that all age groups are invited to be part of the festival, and hence the toddlers as well. I remember one of the sessions that Jerry Pinto, for example, did, where we had over 200 little toddlers sitting with their parents and completely glued to this man who animated a story to them. And it was just a very beautiful sight to have such a young audience also at the festival. Inclusivity also means that we're not focusing on a section of our society. People come from all parts, bus loads, in fact, for the festival, and it's very heartwarming to see that. Inclusivity also means sexual orientation. It means different challenges that people have. So, physically challenged, visually challenged, and so we pride ourselves in trying to make that happen over the years and trying to mainstream all of this. So this is something that we work very hard. There are lots of arguments. Can we do it? Can we not do it? And many that cannot be done. We are very happy at the end of a festival to have made some dent. So this is something that we're very excited about each festival.
So, ma'am, sir started this back in the day. How was Hyderabad back in the day when you decided to start a festival, and then how did you meet your two other festival directors?
Yeah, this festival actually was started by the two of us. There's another founding member of the HLF, Mr. GSP Rao, who was a software professional. And so GSP Rao, whom we all call Surya, he and I started a web journal way back in 2005, and HLF came as a kind of a natural spin-off of that. When we started with one genre, which is the first edition of the festival in 2010 was entirely devoted to poetry. We had different languages. We had about 175 poets from different languages, but it was focused only on poetry. We included eventually three components that we have at every festival are literature, art, and culture. So these, and then more recently we have added heritage as part of the focus. So as I said earlier, in terms of scope, in terms of size, in terms of its reach, HLF has been growing, and the city has responded beautifully to this idea year after year.
Right.
So that has been the journey of HLF.
So, ma'am, is there a funny story that you would like to tell us about the festival? Something you can recall, something which is allowed to be talked about? Maybe a little bit of insight into, how all of this has been coming about.
I don't know about a funny story, but we did have a lot of fun, meeting up and doing this. Actually, after COVID, I think Zoom has taken over, but before that, we used to have really a lot of fun, just meeting up and discussing how we go about certain things, and then ending up, all of us doing something same at the same time, and then saying, okay, you take this, I'll do this, those kinds of things. But the festival itself, we just see people everywhere, just smiling faces all over. Everybody is having fun in some corner or the other. And that is what I think is a wonderful thing about this festival. People have fun all the time.
It's a joyous experience.
It's a very joyous experience. But Amita, would you recall any funny incident?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily call it funny, although, as you rightly said, we have absolutely loved doing what we do, and till late in the night. And well, the funny thing could be that when directors would go and treat our guests who've come the night before the festival to a dinner. And then somebody would say, the way you guys are sitting here, are you really hosting a festival tomorrow? And that has happened to us. And we feel kind of happy that not only are we able to sit, because there is a very large army of people, coordinators and core group members and volunteers who are doing really foot soldier work. So that's been very happy. But I do recall one challenge which turned into a lot of joy as well, is that, it does not rain in Hyderabad in January, but it did one year.
Yes, of course.
And it poured. It didn't rain. There was no iota of any inkling that this was going to happen, and then it poured. And what everybody did, from the audience as well as organizers, was to immediately unplug electrical, and there were sound systems and many things. And everybody kind of huddled to protect what was happening. And then everybody huddled up to the stage, so the session did not take a break. This was at the Hyderabad Public School. And every stream within the next 5 to 10 minutes continued as if nothing had happened. And then there was there was Shabana Azmi, who was going to happen post-lunch. And what do? All of us congregated in the canteen of the Hyderabad Public School, and people were seated on the tables and benches, and there was no stage there, so we created something, and it was such a joyous thing. And Shabana, being herself, pulled it off nicely, and all of us just enjoyed that session in a very make-do environment.
Ila Arun was there, and Govind Nihlani was there.
Yes.
They were all, waiting there, and all of them just standing there and doing
Yeah.
this. Malika Sarava, she danced with the Koya dancers.
People were seated on the floor, on the
Yes,
benches, on the
exactly.
tables.
It was great fun.
And even during
And
the...
you and me holding up the pole.
That's right.
After-
Yes, that's right.
We were holding up the tent so that it wouldn't fall.
Yeah, because it had the water had logged. But happy to know that when it began in 2010 by the two gentlemen, and then people kept being added on, the team just grew, because there is a
Amita
lot
is
of...
responsible for that. She was brought in for the culture, basically, I think, or as the first foreign nation. And then she just added and added and added. So if we have 15 streams, I think we have to blame her.
I take the entire blame. And so 2 points about the streams. One is that we're very happy that we have climate conversations. We're extremely happy that we added also science stream, because science needs to go out to us, to come to us, and very well attended, both of these streams, adding value to the whole show that we put up for 3 days. It has been 3 days all these years. But talking also about the fact that people kept on coming because each one is so passionate. And this was one of the quotes by one of the resource people, Rajdeep Sardesai, if I'm not mistaken, who actually declared us to be a festival for, a citizens' festival, a festival for the city, by the city. And
Aruna said it's a people's festival.
and it is People's Festival.
Aruna Roy. Yeah.
Who's coming in this year. So since you asked for, and we wanted to keep it a little, people to
Rajdeep
log
is
into
also coming this year.
into the thing. But during the 2 COVID years, we did not drop. We immediately converted into online,
digital festival.
and the digital festival continued. So there has been no break in the last 15 years.
The spirit has been very strong, and that was a very beautiful experience that you shared. And we're looking for something bigger this year.
I would like to just add
with-
to one
yes.
very important, similarly, just as Rajdeep Sardesai said that HLF is a citizens' festival, it is a city's festival. G.N. Devi, the linguist, and he called HLF a festival with a heart. And so it has been, as the example shows, people who come to attend the festival become part of the festival. They own the festival, and if there is something wrong, they just put up with it, and actually become part of the festival. The 3 things that I want to highlight are: one, that this is an entirely a festival for it's a free festival. There is no entry fee, and all 3 days, all events, it's a completely free festival. Right? It's not a ticketed event, number 1. Number 2, this is a festival, many festivals say that there is something for everyone, but HLF is that there is everything for everyone, right? And 3, I would like to say that it's a complete family outing. All 3 days, from, as Amita said, from toddlers to people who are seriously minded. So there is everything for everyone. So it's a complete family outing all 3 days. Thank you.
In fact, in one workshop, a grandfather and grandchild attended the same workshop together.
So that's this.
Which is supposedly a complaint from most of the attendees, but I think the team at HLF really likes, is that a lot of them complain saying there's so much happening on the scheduling, we don't know where to go, how could you do this to us? which sounds like a complaint, but I feel like
I think it's a good problem to have when your audience says that there's so much that is happening, and that is a curator's dream, that we have so much to offer to you, and now you see what all can you grasp.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Okay, lovely. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time, everyone.